everyone, welcome to the Meeple Society. Today I am going to teach you a game that we've recently received in via Kickstarter, one that I was very excited to get and I very much enjoy, and I'm anxious to show you how to play. This is Camping Season, designed by SweaterBear Games, published by SweaterBear Games, designed by Zoe and Casey Mattis. Yeah, let's show you how this works. Now, in Camping Season, you are designing, building, and managing your own campground. You are picking out various campsites. You are designing or picking out various amenities. You're trying very hard to keep it clean. You know, all the things that come with running a business. All right, so what comes in the box first and foremost? You have your campground site. This is basically the scoreboard, and it gives you some reminders throughout the game. Let's see, we're not going to talk about solo today, so I will set that one aside. It comes with 4 campground expansions. So these are, or 4 campground boards, I should say. Each player takes one. 4 bags. This is a bag builder. So everybody gets a bag. Put the rest of those aside. Everybody also gets a campground project board. This board will help you get some extra capacity for your campgrounds. It will also help you, it's where you build various projects in order to open up various bonuses that you'll use throughout the game. So everybody gets one of those. Everybody gets their capacity board and their money board. Both of these will help you it's a quick way to keep track of what you've got available to you. All right, and then there are 2 trays of tokens in here. I'm only going to remove one because that's all we'll need for today. Now, there are various ways you can set your token trays up. I set mine up with everything that will eventually go into your bag in this tray. Then I have my capacity tokens off to the side. Each player gets 1 bag of tokens as well. At least I've got mine separated out that way. I'll go over what those are in just a moment. Then you're going to set out all of your campsites. There are 4 different types of campsites. You've got your cabins, you've got your premium campsites, you've got your tent campsites, and last but not least, you have your standard campsites, your camper campsites. And then last but not least, you've also got all of your cards. All right, to set up the game, you're going to set your camping board right in the middle of the table. You're going to set out all the different stacks of your camping tiles. Now, I've only set out a few of each. You're going to put 1 token tray on each side of the table so everybody can easily reach them. As I said, everybody's got their player stuff. There is an acorn token that marks your seasons. You're going to put that up on season 1 to start the game. There are a number of different types of cards. There are the amenity cards. There's quite a few of these. Everybody starts the game with 3. So you're going to deal 3 out to each player, set the stack aside within easy reach. There are player aid cards. There are essentially 3 per player. This has a lot of information on them, so everybody gets 3 of those, or gets a set of those. There are endgame bonus cards. Everybody is going to start with 2 of these. Before the game starts, you're going to choose one, put the other back. Do go ahead and set out the rest of the stack, though. There are ways to get more. And then finally, there are the new season cards. These are cards that are pulled during one of the phases and will essentially give everybody some tokens for their bag. So go ahead and just set these aside as well. All right. Each player's stuff. Everybody gets 1 of the maintenance dice. Everybody gets 6 of these maintenance tokens that go on the first spot of your maintenance area here on the side of the board. They do go wrench side up. 2 stars, both of which just sit over here in the clouds for the start of the game. And then you're going to get a set of project tokens. These project tokens do correspond with all of the tokens here on your board, but you don't fill them in just yet. You fill them in as you complete them. So for now, just set them up above your board or in a central stack, whatever works better for your group. To start the game, everybody starts with a number of tokens in their bag already. So you're going to start with 4 tent tokens, 4 of the regular camper tokens, 1 premium camper token, 1 cabin camper token, 2 of the dreaded maintenance tokens, 2 project tokens, and 1 amenity token. That's where your bag starts at. So now before we get started though, you do need to fill in, everybody fills in these 4 bottom projects with 1 project token, and you do get 1 spare one to start the game with. Be sure when you're starting that you are starting at 3 capacity and at $100,000 on your board. All right, now how you play. Before we get started, I'm going to just do a brief overview of how this will run. The premise of camping season is that you are building out your own campgrounds in the hopes of attracting various campers to your park. You are going to be building out various tent sites, various regular campsites, various premium sites, and various cabin sites in order to attract those type of campers to your grounds. Additionally, you're going to be building out various types of amenities into your park. You're also going to be trying to make sure you get everything kept up, so you keep up with all the maintenance that is required. You're going to be building out various projects in your park. Doing so will give you special bonuses or additional capacity. Capacity being the number of campers that you can pull from your bag, the number of campers that your park will hold. This game is played primarily simultaneously. You're going to move through each phase together as a group. However, within each phase, you're going to be doing things pretty much on your own. All right, so let's start at the beginning. The start of every season is the winter upkeep phase. During the winter upkeep phase, you are going to be buying new campgrounds. You are going to be, or new campsites, I should say. You're going to be increasing your capacity, which will allow you to pull more discs out of your bag later in the round. You're going to be planning out the amenities you want to add. You could purchase new amenity cards for $10,000 a piece. You can sell 2 amenity cards in order to get a new project token. Project tokens are going to be used over here on your project board. By doing some of these smaller projects, you're going to potentially open up some extra benefits. You're also going to open up more capacity for your park. By doing these upgrades, you're going to be able to open up ongoing benefits. So each of these will give you something slightly different. So for example, if I go ahead and create a mobile app, then I can gain an extra endgame bonus card. I get to draw 2 off the top of the stack, discard 1. That gives me 2 potential options to score at the end of the season. If I build up my RV delivery service, I can increase my capacity by 3. If I improve my picnic areas, I get to earn an extra $5,000 every year on my campgrounds, on my tent campgrounds. So there's all sorts of different things here, depending on which way you want to take your game. So in order to build out your campgrounds, you are paying money off of your card in order to bring stuff into your park. So for example, if I want to build a tent campground, now there are 4 different types of campgrounds available. Each campground costs so much money. So the very first tent site I build costs me $20,000 and gets me a new capacity. The next tent campground I build costs me $30,000 and gets me another capacity. The first normal site I build cost me $30,000. Premium sites $40,000 and cabins $50,000, and each one just goes up from there. You can only ever build and pay for 4 sites, 4 of each type of site. However, there are ways to upgrade. So say I have built out this tent campground and I decide later on that I want to upgrade this to a premium campground. I can do that by paying $35 down here in my campsite improvements. I put the token here. I do not remove this one, but I add one here. I get rid of one of my tents and I make it a premium. So that is one way you could potentially end up with more than 4 of a particular campsite. I could still build out 4 more premium campsites and have a total of 5. Another option you have is to buy extra capacity. You may not be doing this early on in the game because that money is hard to come by early on in the game, but by the end of it, you might decide you want more capacity. The easiest way to get it is to pay for it. So you're going to pay $20,000, you're going to throw a capacity token down there, and you're going to increase your capacity track. Now, everybody starts with 3, but as you add these capacity tokens to your board, you're increasing this number. As you remove these projects, it reveals capacity tokens. So you are increasing this number again. There are specific amenity cards out here that as you play them will give you more capacity. So you can just simply increase this number. And as the game goes on, you're going to be able to pull more and more things from your bag. We'll come back to that during that stage of the round. So during this stage of the round, you are paying for various campsites. You're adding them to your board. So I paid for these 2 campsites. That was a total of $50,000. I'm going to reduce my, oh, not to 500,000. That'd be nice. Reduce that down to $50,000. Maybe I want to go ahead and do this reliable Wi-Fi. That's going to give me an extra project token I can work with, but it cost me $30,000. Okay, well now I only have 20,000 left. Oop, we did not do that either. Actually, let's say we did one of each. So there we go. So we're starting the game off with 1 normal site for 30,000, 1 tent site for 20,000, my reliable Wi-Fi for 30,000. I have $20,000 left I can spend. Not very much I can spend on. Maybe I can buy myself an extra capacity, but maybe instead I'm just going to buy myself an extra card because I can buy extra cards for that. So I'm going to buy an extra card. Then before this phase ends, I'm going to assign my project tokens. Now down here on your project board, all of the different projects have various requirements to get them built. So for example, my mobile app takes 3 project tokens. These upgraded picnic areas cost 4 to do. The solar energy panels cost 5 to do. So once I have enough tokens on a specific project, then I can build that project. So maybe I went ahead and went for this mobile app. So I went for the mobile app. I've only got 2 there. I've got 20,000 left. I could do these new fire rings. So I'll build the new fire rings for my last 20,000. That will give me 3 project tokens on here so I can build my mobile app. And now I get to pull an extra endgame bonus card. See what else I can do for the end of the game. Once you've built your projects, these all go back into the tray. At the end of this phase, hopefully by now you've looked over your amenity cards because you're going to get to play one now. Before we play amenity cards, let me show you how to read one. Each amenity card has the name of the amenity. So this is the arcade room. It shows the number of victory points I'm going to get at the end of the game if it is still in front of me. It shows me the bonus I'm going to get once I play it. So $15,000 onto my card. Ooh, hey, let's reduce that. I spent that extra 20. There we go. It's going to show me the tokens that I'm going to be able to put into my bag at the time I build this. So I can put all of these into my bag. It's also going to show me the round it has to be in order to build it, or the year it has to be to build it. So this arcade room can't be built until the 3rd season of the game. So I can't even build this one yet. Something else you might see is this icon here. So in order to build this nature center, I need to hire more staff. That's this upgrade right here, is to hire more staff. This one here, this is season 1. This one I can build now. So during the 2nd phase of each round, or of each season, you can build 1 card out of your hand. So if I decide I'm going to build this one, I put it next to my board. I take the tokens indicated on the side of the board. So I take my 2 tent campers and I take my 1 maintenance token, and then I add those to my bag for later on. After that, everybody moves into phase 3. Phase 3 is a quick one. You draw the top card off the new season deck and everybody adds those items to their bag. So I'm going to add 1 regular camper, 1 premium camper, and 1 amenity token. And all of these go into my bag. Also on these cards, you might find wildlife tokens, in which case you take 2 wildlife tokens out of the reserve and add those to your bag as well. Now, not all of these cards have them, only a few of them, but when you see it, you add those to your bag as well. And those are all points if you pull them out and actually place them. All right, so we set that aside. And then we move into phase 4. Phase 4 is the maintenance phase. This is where you are rolling what will become known as the dreaded maintenance die. You're rolling your die. You are adjusting everything down here on your maintenance section by that roll. So in this case, I rolled my landscaping. So I'm going to move my landscaping over by 1. People have been throwing trash into my bushes. Everybody rolls their dice twice. Okay, looks like my campsites could use a little bit of work as well. So I'm going to move that over. If you saved any money on your dial, you can now pay to clean those up before you start putting people into your campsites. But if you didn't, that's okay. You can do it again during the next winter phase. But this is one reason to maybe save some money on the dial, is that it will help you keep these cleaned up a little bit. Now we go to the 5th phase, and that is opening the gates and letting our campers in. Before you start each phase, I always like to just double check my occupancy, make sure that I adjusted this number correctly. So right now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got a total of 7. See, I got a little too zealous when I was giving you examples. I've got a total of 7 occupancy, which means I'm going to pull stuff out of my bag until I have pulled 7 campers out of my bag. Maintenance doesn't count. Whenever you pull a maintenance token, you roll the maintenance die immediately and adjust your maintenance track accordingly. If I pull a camper out that I have room for, great. I just put him into that campground. Wonderful. I can keep doing this one at a time until I either fill up my capacity. Right now I'm at 4 because this maintenance token doesn't count. Additionally, project tokens don't count. Set them aside. You can use them during the winter upkeep phase on the next year. Amenity tokens don't count. Again, just set it aside. This will let you pull a new amenity card for free next round. But you keep going until you have filled up your campsite. Now, whenever you pull one you cannot place, you got to set them into the overflow or the lost sales. We don't have room for premium campers. Unfortunately, he's going to turn around and go someplace else. But he does count toward my capacity. Oh, another maintenance token. That's not good. So we're going to roll the dice. Oh, now my utilities are starting to get a little shabby. So I've pulled 5 so far. Okay. Whenever you pull a wildlife animal, you have a couple choices. If you have a campsite that has no more than 1 person in it, 0 or 1, you can put that animal in the campsite. But if I do that, I can't place anybody else here. I still have 2 more capacity. I could still get him placed, but right now I can't because I put that animal there. I could discard this animal and it doesn't hurt me at all. But if I want the points for him, I can't put any more campers here. Every campsite has the type of camper that they want, that they are initially set up for. So these are set up for the small campers. The premiums are set up for the big RVs. But just because it's set up for the big RVs doesn't mean that they can't hold a small camper or even a tent. I can put tents in this campsite. I just don't get any money for it. Likewise, I can put tents here. I just don't get any money for it. But I still get the points if I can place them. And knowing what you have available and knowing what's in your bag before you place that animal might help you make that decision. So if I didn't place the animal and I pulled 2 more tokens out, oh good, I got another white one. How about that? So that's 6. I got a green. I can place a green here because the regular campsites can hold tents. I just don't get money for it at the end of the season. So once I've reached my capacity, I stop. Again, project tokens, amenity tokens, maintenance tokens, and wildlife do not count toward your capacity. Now, when you are pulling tokens from the bag, you keep pulling until one of a couple different things happen. 1, you've reached your capacity level. 2, you've run out of tokens in your bag. Then you can stop pulling. Or if your campgrounds are completely full, whether they're correctly full or not, but if your campgrounds are completely full and you cannot fit anybody else, you can put up the no vacancy sign and stop pulling from your bag. So now, once everybody's finished pulling from their bag, now you move on to the scoring phase. During the scoring phase, you're going to add up the number of points that you've received based on what you've got in front of you, and you're going to add up the amount of money you received for that season. Everything is outlined here on the board. It is also outlined on one of your cards too. So first of all, you're going to earn money. You're going to earn $5,000 for each tent that is in the correct campsite. So in this case, I would get $15,000 for that, and I would just simply increase my board by 15,000. You're going to earn 10,000 for every small camper that's in the correct campsite. In this case, I have 2 of them, so that's another $20,000. You're going to earn 15,000 for every premium camper that managed to get into the same campsite. I didn't have a premium campsite. And 15,000 for every cabin camper as well. Then you're going to go down to the points. You're going to earn 1 point for every filled campsite. I have 6 filled campsites, so I get 6 points. I get 1 extra point for every cabin. Well, right now I don't have any cabins, so I don't get that. You're going to get 2 points for every tile that's filled correctly. What that means is that for every tile that is filled with the type of camper it was designed for, gets you 2 points. So my tent camper is full of tent. That gets me 2 points. Unfortunately, my normal campground, a tent ended up having to go over there because I ran out of room here. So therefore, I do not get the 2 points for that. Then whoever has the most premium campers in their campground is going to get 2 points. Right now, I do not. So most likely one of my opponents would get those 2 points. You're going to get 3 points for 4 tidy maintenance areas. I do not have that anymore. If I'd had some money in order to clean it up real quick, I could have. At this point, you cannot spend the money you just got on this. It has to be done when you're doing maintenance. So at any point, even when I rolled the die for that second maintenance token and increased my campsite up some more, at that point, if I still had money left, I could pay to clean up one of these others or that one. Didn't matter. But if I had 4 of these, if 4 were still all the way over and nice and clean, then I would gain 3 more points. So I'd be down to 11. But I didn't, so I don't get those 3 points. Then I would get 3 points per animal. So if I had not taken those, and I had instead placed that animal and sent these guys to overflow, then I would have gotten 3 points. I would not have gotten the money from this camper, this $10,000 that this normal camper gave me, though, and I would not have gotten the 2 points for having those sites filled. The last part of scoring is unkept maintenance. So when you are rolling the maintenance die, if when you get to this point, you get to the area where you've got this little exclamation mark after the maintenance icon, and you roll that icon again. So I roll it and I get another tent. I get another campground area. Then I have to flip this over and it turns into, well, as we have come to call it, a dumpster fire. That is considered an unkept area. Once it turns to that, I can no longer repair it during this season. I have to wait until the winter season. It's that messy. So even if I had had the money and I had rolled that, too late. As soon as I roll it, it flips over and I can no longer clean that area up. But for every one of those icons you have on your board at the end of the season, then you lose 3 points. At this point in time, there is also a catch-up mechanism. The catch-up mechanism states that for every point you are behind somebody else, you gain $5,000. So if my opponent had somehow gotten to 14 that round, then I would be 6 points behind him, so I would get $30,000. So you add that $30,000 to your board for next season, and that ends the round. So at the end of each season, you take all of your campers and put them back into your bag. Those never go away. Unfortunately, the wildlife gets discarded. All the maintenance tokens, unfortunately, they don't go away either. They go back in your bag as well. And then you're ready for the new season. You move the acorn down to 2, Everybody looks at the money they have from the previous season and you start figuring out how you're going to spend it. During the winter upkeep phase of the next season, you can spend your project tokens however you wish. You can spend your amenity tokens in order to draw another amenity card. Those go back in the tray. You can, again, trade in 2 cards to get a project token. You can buy more amenity cards for $10,000. Maybe I know I'm not going to be able to get this hire employees action done. So I'm going to go ahead and trade these 2 cards in order to get another project token to get me a little bit closer toward the next goal. Again, at this time, you can spend money to start cleaning. If you had one of the tokens flipped over to the unkept side, to the dumpster fire side, then you could right now flip it over. Doesn't cost you anything. But now is where you can start cleaning it up, because the next time you roll that token again, if it's still here, it's going to flip back over. So I can spend $10,000 and clean that up of my 65. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I could spend another $20,000 here in order to clean this up. So, wow, that was expensive. I had some messy guests last season. Buy more stuff. I've only got $35,000, so I can't do much with that. I could sell one of my previously played amenity cards. Can't be one out of your hand, but you can basically take out an amenity to get $10,000 if you want to get something else accomplished. So the game progresses just like this through each of the 6 seasons until you get to the scoring phase of the last season. At that point, you do your end game scoring. When it comes time for end game scoring, there's a couple more things that get added into it. You add up any points you have on any played amenity cards. You add those to your score. You add up any points you got off of any end game scorecards you've gotten. So for example, this one says per tent expansion built. So if I'd had 3 tent expansions here, I would get a total of 6 points on this one. I could have a maximum of 4, but this might be a case where I built others and then just simply improved them to be campsites instead of trailer sites. So I could get some extra points. For every amenity token or project token that you've pulled from your bag during the last season's draw phase, those are worth a point each. You don't count the ones that are still in your bag, just the ones that got pulled during the last season. And then finally, you add up all the money you have left. Ooh, that's a lot of money. You add up all the money you have left on your card, and you get 1 point for every $50,000 you have left. The person with the highest score, I guess, runs the best campsite. So that is how you play camping season. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, by all means, put them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them as soon as I get a chance. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. There is a number of, honey, I know, but you can't. Do you want to go out and you can't get out? Okay. There is a, sweetheart, you're driving me crazy. Don't you jump up here. Don't do it. Don't do it. Bucky.